Hey guys, in this episode, I interview Austin Largusa, and he kicks me in the butt and breaks down private money lending for me. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Investing with the Baldovinos. My name is Josh, and in this episode, we were again expanding our network, and we were talking to Austin Largusa. You know, one of the important things about networking is that you never know who can introduce you to somebody else. My hard money lender in Ohio, Nick Eiffel, let me know that I should reach out to Austin, as he is a out-of-state wholesaler who wholesales in Columbus and in Tennessee, but is actually here in California. So I gave him a call, we set up a meeting, and I kid you not, I wish that I recorded that first call, but Austin and I have so many different things in common. One, he's from Hawaii. I'm not from Hawaii, but I did live there for 6 years. And he also coaches CrossFit, and so did I. And then the funny thing is, if you didn't know, I actually started a clothing brand called Shakas and Snatches, and he's been a customer, a multiple times over customer, and just kind of uncovering that of just, how crazy life is and how interconnected you are sometimes is amazing. But Austin is absolutely killing it right now. He's wholesaling deals in Tennessee and in Ohio. He just closed on our portfolio. 6 properties, 8 doors, and didn't put any of his money down. 100% seller financed. He financed the down payment with private money. So in this call here, he gives me a little pep talk. He kicks me in the butt a little bit, and he just kind of uncovers what that process is. If you find this conversation or this topic helpful, make sure to give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, of course, subscribe. Now, let's get on to the show.
There he is. What's going on, my man?
What's up?
I made it, man. It's hot out here today.
Yeah, it is.
Jeez. I think Fairfield tomorrow is getting up to like 83.
I know. I'm
So
surprised you
just
can even
trying to
talk to me this week, I guess.
shoot, man. Today was kind of my day that I set time aside. I did a call with Steve earlier this morning, Steve Rosenberg. I had a call last night with another guy that wanted to talk about private money. And then there's one more guy that's been trying to get me on his calendar. I'm just like, man, you're gonna have to wait for like 2 weeks, bro. Wait till we get through Easter and everything, and then I'm doing we're doing a commercial build out for a building, and so that's been taking up a lot of time as well. So
For the church.
yeah, just making it happen, man. Dealing with the city and permitting process, that's never fun.
You have a lot going on.
I do. This is how I do this to myself, though. When there's nothing exciting happening, I feel like I'm not productive.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, let's do something else. Let's see, what else can we add onto my plate?
I like it though.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I think for me, one thing that like I've been trying to figure out is like what kind of like team and support system can I build around of like people that are actually movers and doing things. I think that's like
Yep.
a challenge, not only just because it's COVID, but also
Right.
just because, I mean, we're investing from California in Columbus,
Yeah.
which means that like we can, yeah, sure, like would have been cool to go to that Egypt trip, with
Right.
with Nick
Right.
and
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
right?
I saw that.
And like do all the networking. But I mean, between all the other things that we have going on, like finding like a little group and niche that like we can lean on, or at least
Right.
I can lean on, has like been on top of my like priority list. Is just trying to just
Yeah.
figure out like who's making moves, man.
Right. And then who's making the moves that align with what you're wanting to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest thing that has helped me is I don't know many people who are doing, like you're saying, making moves in the way that I want to see them done and kind of aligning. And then just realistically, there's not a lot of people I've met online that I just like as a person, and it
Yeah.
sounds mean, but you got to like the people you work with to
Oh,
some
for sure.
capacity, So, but it's funny you said that. I've been actually thinking about getting a couple of guys together that I met through different contacts in regards to real estate and not calling it a mastermind group, but just some guys to check in with every week and,
Mm-hmm.
some guys ahead of me, some guys maybe a step behind me, and just building this little group. I don't need a big group, just a couple of people.
So, yeah, people who are consistent, people who act.
Yep. Just a couple of guys, man. It's not a lot of people in my own like immediate circle are even interested in real estate, so it's kind of hard. Are you guys looking at private money stuff? Is that?
Yes. So I mean, like, I think we touched about this like on the first time we talked together. Yep. I mean, we've bought 3 properties now, and since January, and my wife and I want to buy a primary for ourselves here in the Bay Area, which is basically going to eat up everything. Even like if you put 5% down, like after closing costs, like you're still in San Jose, it's still putting like $60,000-$70,000 down. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
yep. Oh yeah.
Like that's a lot of properties that you can get.
Yep.
And so
that's why I'm okay renting. I don't even care about buying our own house. Like, dude, it's just it's so much money.
That, like, and like I'm actually having that debate right now. So maybe so you guys are renting your primary right now?
Yeah.
Because we could rent for like $2,200 a month and not worry about a $5,000, $5,500 mortgage payment.
Yeah.
And then that $3,000 a month of cash flow.
Yep.
I mean,
it can go to a lot of things. Yep.
I know. God.
That's us, man. We pay, I think we pay like $2,000 a month for rent, and we live in a 3-2. That's about 1,300 square feet, and a good backyard for my kids. You know, decent schools around, super tight knit community. If I were to buy right now in this neighborhood, we're looking at like $650, and these homes are old. Like they're old. And so I know you in the South Bay, you're like $650. That sounds good, man.
Yeah,
for us out here.
$650. Yeah, that's that's I can't find any single family house for $650.
Oh yeah, you guys are like closer to $1 million on average.
Yeah, and that's like a fixer at $1 million. Right. You're like looking at 1.2. Like, yeah.
I can't fathom paying a note for that much for that long when I can spend, that money on, like you said, on rentals and building a portfolio. And like, dude, what we're gonna make once this Ohio portfolio closes, we'll have just about replaced my W-2 income. We wouldn't be able to do that if we ended up buying a house. Like, it's just crazy, man. So I'm fine with it. It's the new millennial thing. You just rent, you don't buy. It's the trend, I guess.
God, man.
Do it.
God. I know I've gone back on this, like, back and forth, and I've talked to my parents about it too. I'm like, look, you bought your house, in the 90s for $300K. Right. Your mortgage is $1,900 a month. Like, after PMI and stuff, like, is it worth it to pay $5,000 a month to live in? It's not a luxury house. Like, this is like
exactly.
This is like in the ghetto in San Jose. Like,
oh yeah,
like my wife wouldn't want to go outside at night.
Right.
Kind of like.
Yeah, and if you want that kind of neighborhood, you're definitely over, like, what, 1.5.
Yeah, and then I'm paying like like just and it's.
Or you could just move over to Fairfield.
We have thought about moving. It's hard. So it's like we moved from Oahu back to here to be closer to family.
Got it.
And like for me, I'm like, okay, like how far is like at that point? Like, are we just not being close to family again? Like, my wife's mom is in Sunnyvale, right? We're here in San Jose.
Yeah.
It's like South Bay.
Yep.
Like we moved here so we can see them on, so we can, like, if it was a weekend, we could go.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, realistically, let's see, there will be I think there's going to be a small correction this year in the market. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, man. It's not going to change the housing prices too much. I mean, they pretty much are where they're going to be. Like, nothing drastic is going to happen.
See, okay. And then, like, here's my dilemma. I could rent,
right?
Something for like $2,500 a month, and that'd be like a 2-bedroom condo. Probably doesn't have a garage or anything like that.
Right.
No backyard. And you probably get like those little.
Yeah. Yep.
But I want to. I mean, because I got a garage gym, man, and I want to like.
Oh, nice.
Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. I don't know if I have the time to coach right now again for membership. I don't know
in
if
order
I
to get
a membership. So it's like
just coach the 5 a.m., bro. That's what I do. Oh, it's the death of me. It is.
Wait, so you're still coaching?
Mm-hmm. I coach Monday and Tuesday at 5 a.m.
God.
Yeah.
See, and you have 4 kids. Like, my sleep is still inconsistent with our toddlers, right. So I don't want to Yeah.
I just figure I'm up
5 a.m.
I'm up anyway. Like, I might as well do something productive.
God. Okay, so private money.
Yep.
Okay, so my thing with private money, right? Like, ideally, you find a BRRRR deal, right? If you're going to go that route, or something that you can refi out or appraise or whatever to get cash back out, so that way you can pay them off, right? Whether it be 10, 11, 12%, whatever your terms are, if you're doing interest, up front, or pay them all lump at the end, yada, yada, yada. I mean, essentially all it is, like, for you on your deal, like, maybe just like the nitty gritties then. Like, since, well, you did seller financing.
Yeah, so the private money just funded my entry fee into the deal, which was cash to the seller and the assignment fee to the wholesaler.
And they took like first position on that mortgage note.
Who did? The lender?
Right? No, well,
the seller has first position because they still technically own it, because they're financing it.
So then, like, if we were to use hard money, hard money lender has first position, private lender has second position, and then you're just hopefully trying to get enough cash by the end of whenever your term is due to then pay them back.
Yep. Yeah, so our deal right now, the portfolio in Ohio is so seller financing, right? Total portfolio is about 75% of ARV right now. And so we're on a 5-year term. So I mean, realistically, I'm going to hold these for 4 years and then try to figure something out in the last year. Because the longer I can not have to use my own debt to income and my own credit, like, I want to go that route. I don't want to have to use my own stuff. And so I'm going to hold it for as long as I can before I have to do anything. Based on appreciation, they'll appreciate enough by the 4th year to where I can do a cash out refi. And there's going to be enough equity in there for me to get paid from it. As far as my private lender, so it's 4 single family homes and 2 duplexes. And I don't want anything to do with duplexes. It's just not my thing right now. And so those ones we bought them at a price to where I can flip them in like 6 months, and I'll be able to pay off the seller and have enough cash to pay off the lender right away. And then I'll still have 4 single family homes that are cash flowing. Dude. So I'm willing to do that and lose out on what potentially could be 4 doors of cash flow, because I got into the deal with no money out of my pocket.
How come you want to keep the duplex?
Because our goal is all single family homes, rent to own, just getting families in homes. So, which I know I know I could cash flow more if we kept the duplexes, but I mean, it's worth it to me. Like when you can look at a deal and truly see that you put $0 into the deal, like no matter what you have to sell in that portfolio, or no matter how much cash flow you're going to lose out on, like anything is worth it at that point. Like
Yeah, it's free
it's
money on
it,
the table, right?
yeah,
It's like sweat
exactly.
equity or
Yep.
deal equity, I
Yeah.
guess.
And it wasn't even hard, man. The deal got sent to me by someone on Instagram who knows that I was looking in Ohio.
So you
And
didn't
so
even wholesale the deal. You just
dude, nothing. I literally did nothing. All I had to do was find the money to get into it. Now we could have used our own capital and got into it, but then, like you said, our savings would go down, and I don't know. I don't think my wife would be happy.
yeah.
So $0 out of pocket into a deal for nothing. I mean, the real work that I did was, I don't know, I did a private money presentation online and then did a phone call follow up. I talked to an attorney to structure our the deal with a lender. I talked to a title company to figure out how to wire earnest money. Like I didn't do much. I probably did, in actual man hours, I probably did like 5 hours of work, if that. Sell
Dude,
the
that's awesome.
duplexes, pay the lender back, good to go.
Yeah, no, yeah, like yeah, if the duplexes sell, right, and you're able to just like clear off that debt and then you don't have to worry
Exactly.
about that. Like it's not like
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine how good it feels to like
Oh
get a
yeah.
deal without having like right now I'm in the process of refinancing
Yeah.
one of our houses. And this one I actually didn't think could be a perfect burr, but I think it might actually come out to like where I get
Nice.
all of my own money back,
Right. Right. Yep.
but I still put up.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the thing. That's what we did that with our first house in Tennessee, where it was 30,000 total to get in, and we used our own cash. And so I'm going to get that back like in a year, but I still had to put that in when I could have found someone who had 30,000 in a money market savings account, earning them pennies, and made them 10% a month interest guaranteed, and then got into the deal with no cash out of my own pocket. So it's now that I mean, honestly, man, now that I see how easy it is for private money, I just called today on a portfolio in Sacramento, 23 single family homes listed at 3.25 million. But the seller only wants 5%, and then he'll finance the rest of it. So that's what, 150,000. I can find $150,000. Like whether it's three people who have 50,000 or five people who have 30,000, I can find it. And so I think that's what private money does, man. It just opens doors. Like every deal to me is a viable option now, no matter what the list price is.
So you're just having the conversations now of like, hey, like who would be open to like being a potential private lender? Like, here are the deals
Yeah.
that I'm looking at. Here's what I've secured. Well, here's what is potentially open. Like, just let me know in
Mhm.
the future if you ever want to get pinged for it. That's
Yeah,
basically the
I don't
conversation
even.
that you're having.
Yeah, and so my conversation is even more simple than that. I don't even tell them that there's a deal on the table. My conversation is, so when I do like Zoom presentations, that's how I get people to kind of learn about it. I do it as a presentation to show people how they can invest in real estate. And so I talk about my wife and I, our goals. We do a case study. I walk them through the numbers on our first rental. And then at the end, I just say, hey, there's two ways you can get involved. You can be an active investor and buy rentals like my wife and I, or you can be a passive investor and make 10% on your money. And then I let them choose. The people who say they want to be active, I just tell them, if you have any questions, I'd love to help you. The people who want to be passive, those are my private lenders. I know. I make it sound like duh. It's so simple.
No, I mean, okay. You know what's so dumb? It's like, you know, the hard part about like all this, right? Is like, I feel like for me, like it's just about like calling more people, right? And just like
Yeah.
I have no problem doing the thing. Like that's how we got to our doors so fast.
Yep.
And then like there's just a different block when it's like other people's money,
Yeah.
you know? And like I want to be like ultra respectful of that
Sure.
because it's like, sure, like if I have to leave $5,000-$10,000 of my own money, like I know that up front, right? No, obviously you can do that on the private side too. Like you would just
Right.
front
Right.
and cover whatever could
Yeah.
come out.
Exactly.
But
Yeah. I think I had a hard time. So here's where my perspective shifted. I went from, it felt like I was asking people for money, and I hated that feeling. Like, I don't want to, it sounds
mm-hmm,
like I'm begging. Like, can you help me, please?
mm-hmm,
Can you help me? Like, I hate that. But what I realized is when you look at the terms of the deal, so this Ohio portfolio, $50,000 is what this guy's lending us at
mm-hmm,
10%, 10% interest only payments, and then he'll get the 50,000 back at the end on top of all the interest he's earned. He's making point zero something if he has a money market account. He's making maybe 4 to 6% over time, like annually on a 401k or Roth IRA. Like, I'm doing him a favor by making him 10%. Like, what other investment, unless you're gonna, you know, unless you're gonna gamble it and throw it in crypto, like where else are you making a secure 10%?
I mean, it's not
There's
getting
no but that's kind of how I had to have to look at it now is like where are people putting their money? Well, they're putting it in these retirement accounts and they pay them pennies, man. It's like nothing. Or they put it in stocks. And here's the thing with stocks is, I mean, we saw it at the beginning of the pandemic, right? President Trump would make a tweet about China and all the stocks would go just like that. In real estate, Trump can make a tweet right now about real estate. You know how long it's going to take for real estate to tank? Like, you have time to pivot and adjust before a market crash happens again. In stocks, you can't, man. You put all your money in your 401k, which is based in stocks, that thing can dump like tomorrow. Real estate,
yeah.
there's markers. You can see the warning signs and you can pivot when you need to. And so that's the way I look at it now is you're not doing me a favor. Like, dude, I'm making you money that you wouldn't have otherwise made. And so as long as you run the deal right and your numbers are right, like I feel the way I feel now is if you don't lend me your money, you really don't want to make money. It sounds
I
mean,
like it.
but
No, no. Okay, so how about like the ones who, because I feel like the most immediate partnership, like just like at its infancy, is equity
right.
splits. Like, how about those people who are like, well, could we ever like go on a deal together, like 50-50 or whatever? Like, I mean, that's just like, are you just saying I don't operate like that? Sorry, like that's just like not enough skin in the game for me.
If they're not in if they're not an active investor right now, I wouldn't do an equity split with someone on their first deal. Because the reality is I'm going to be doing all the work because they don't know what to do. I'm going to have to do the work and I'm going to have to teach them how to do the work. Like, dude, I don't know. To me, it's a waste of my time. Like, that's so much effort on my end. I think maybe the only way I would do an equity split on someone with someone on their first deal is if they were like, if they were an accountant and they could handle the book, they could do the books and
Mm-hmm.
keep everything in line. Maybe I would do an equity split then. But someone on their first deal, most times they don't know enough to contribute like enough for it to be worth it to me. I have so this Ohio one, the guy who sent it to me via Instagram, he was looking for an equity split. And I just told him, like, I was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I can do some repairs here and there. And I was like, no, man, like, you're not licensed or insured contractor. Like, no, you're not going to take any of the work. I'm going to be screwed. I'm going to have to hire someone else. And you're still going to get your equity split. Like, no way. So I just wouldn't, not on their first deal, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like, okay. And then the other thing that like I'm trying to work out in my head is like,
Yeah,
what are the tax implications for the private money lenders? Like, are we cutting them a 1099 at the end? Like, what
that's
are
a
you
good question.
doing?
So I may be doing this part wrong. All I did was I called my attorney. He's from Silicon Valley, but he lives in Seattle now.
Mhm.
But he's licensed here in California too. I called him, and all I said was, I have this guy who wants to lend me money. I'm going to buy a house with it. I don't know what this, like, I don't know what I need to do. And I mentioned taxes and everything, and I just let him do the paperwork. Like, I just trust him. Like, I'm not an attorney. I don't want to have to think about that. And so I got the lender on the call. We did a three-way call, me, the attorney, the lender. I asked questions to the attorney. I let the lender ask questions to the attorney, and then the attorney asked questions to both of us. And we just made sure everyone was on the same page. And then, dude, our paperwork, it's a one-page promissory note. That's it, unsecured. That's it. Just one signature from each of us. And yeah, I have nothing,
So there's
nothing.
no mortgage on it. There's no like lien on it either. It's
Mm-mm.
just a promise to
Unsecured.
pay.
Yep, just an IOU. That's it.
And then
Like,
how much attorney time did you end up using on that? Like 2 hours?
maybe it was probably just under 2 hours of actual work time. And then my attorney didn't even charge me for it because it was only 50,000. He said if I have a deal that I need him to take care of that's like more than 150,000, then he'll charge me. But this one was such a small amount, he just did it for free. So yeah, man, he's he's pretty dope. I like him. You can do
I
it.
like it.
You can
I
do
mean,
it.
it's it's just like I just haven't. I mean, like I just haven't made those other calls to the attorneys, the title agents, and
Yeah.
things like that. Like, and that's just really what it boils down to. I mean, like it seems so weird when you don't know, but as soon as you like call 50 hard money lenders, you're like, I
Yeah.
got it now. It makes sense. It's like,
Well, so even the thing like, um, so what I was having a problem with was, uh, like, everyone goes on Google and searches private money lender, like, or they post in a Facebook group, who did you use for
mhm.
private money? What I've found is like the private money lenders you want to work with, you can't find them on Google. You can't find them in Facebook groups because that's why they're called private, because they're not just out in public like advertising themselves as lenders. I feel like those guys are predatory. The ones that are all over Google, like here's one. I see their ad all the time. Shoot. Lima One Capital. I don't even know
Mhm.
who they are. I've seen their ads, but I feel like they're a scam. Like, just straight up, I just don't trust them already. What I did was I tapped into like the people I know, old coworkers, old bosses, friends' parents, people I met at the gym through coaching. That's one of my lenders actually. He just sold his he owned a Foster's Freeze franchise. He just sold it last week. And so he's one of my lenders that I have ready to go whenever I have a deal. Um, Old classmates, uh, gosh, my own family. Like, those are the private lenders you want to tap into because they already know you, they like you, and they trust you. With those corporate private lenders, like, dude, you have to give them documentation and basically prove your prove that you can, or justify that they should loan it to you with
Mm-hmm.
someone you know, someone who already knows your character. You don't have to submit documentation to them or a credit report or any of that. And that's why I was able to do an unsecured promissory note, which basically says, like, if I don't pay you back, there's nothing to legally make you pay you back. Like, so that's what I would do, man. And with your connections being in CrossFit, shakas and snatches, like all of that, did you have people in your network who can be your lenders? I 100% guarantee you have people. You even said your wife's parents have a house in the South Bay.
Yeah, well, it's a mobile home, but
Yeah, but even then, dude, like if they bought it that long ago, there's equity in it. Can't they pull out a HELOC and loan you that money, and you make them
yeah,
10%? Like,
yeah.
dude, there's so many ways that you can get access to these funds, and that's what my eyes are open to now. Is the money's everywhere. Like, I just have to find the right people I want to work with. Do it, do it.
I like you.
Got to make it happen, man. I've had so here's a funny story. This is what was hard for me, and this kind of crushed me for a moment. So I did my Zoom call, right? And I was feeling good about it because I love online presentations and everyone's smiling, everyone was having a good time. I had 3 people say they were interested. The first person I called, the first follow-up phone call, I've known this guy for like, must be like 10 to 12 years. And he goes, Austin, how many deals have you done? I said, well, I have 1 rental. How long have you been investing? Well, technically for about 2 years. Okay. How much do you have in assets, like your own personal assets? And that's where I paused and I was like, why do you want to know this? And he's like, well, I don't think you're an experienced enough investor for me to lend you money. Dude, I felt like crushed. Like, that was the one thing I didn't want to happen. That's why I was afraid to ask people for money, because I didn't want to get
Mhm.
rejected. But when I talked to Steve, and this is what Steve is good at, he said, all right, so you had 1 person say no, but you have 3 total people who are interested. All you need is 1 private lender. So go call the other 2 people. And then the second phone call, the guy was like, yeah, 50,000. I have it in a HELOC. It's sitting liquid. I can wire you the money today. And I was like, oh shoot, dang. And so there are going to be people who'd say, like, like, oh, you don't know enough, or I don't trust you, even though they know you personally. But dude, all you need is one. All you need is 1 person. When I pay this guy back his 50,000 at the end of our term, I'm going to ask him to borrow more money and just recycle it and just
Yeah.
keep going. Like, dude, I made you $5,000 in 11 months. Let's go higher. I can make you more money. So even though that first guy said no, I mean, the second guy said yes. I haven't even called the third guy. I mean, I probably should, but I just got so excited. I was like, I don't even need to talk to you. Like, I'm ready to go.
No, I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, there's been just whatever, some mental block of me just not saying, hey, here's what I'm working on. Here's the deals. Do you know anyone? Um, and yeah, it's just, it is weird because it's other people's money.
Right. Yeah.
But
And I think I think the only reason I would ever be nervous about that is if I wasn't sure about my numbers.
yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, there's no way I can't pay this guy back based on how we bought the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so under market value that we buy it with equity, with about 25% equity already. So
Good
yeah,
job, man.
man. This
Good
is
job.
this is one highlight.
It's
It's not always
highlight.
highlights, but it's exciting. I'm excited. I feel like I can make this happen. Basically mixing seller financing with private money. It's like, yeah, man, possibilities are just endless.
Yeah, those seller financing deals. Hey, babe, come here. Here, meet my wife, Hannah. This is Austin.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, you talked to Denise.
Yeah. Yep. I
This
talked
is
to Denise a few weeks ago.
my
Hi,
wife,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Hi.
Hi
How
there.
are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. I've heard a lot of good things about you.
I hope they were good.
Well, mostly lies, probably, right?
Right. Of course.
What are we doing? Are we making deals happen?
Yeah, well, he's just telling me about how.
Are we making deals happen, Josh? Are we?
I mean, we're always making deals happen. No, he just closed on a portfolio. Was it 6 doors? No, 8 doors, 6 properties.
8 doors. Yeah, 6 properties.
Oh, yeah. That's the goal.
Seller finance, and then private money to cover the rest.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, thank you. Yeah, my wife is happy.
Yeah.
Because then she'll be able to stay home longer from work.
See,
so
that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. That's the goal.
Right. That's the only reason I do this.
How do we make this happen?
Yeah, it's great. I was just talking to Josh about private money and just accessing the people in your own network.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it sounds scary sometimes, intimidating. It's nerve-wracking a little bit. But when you get someone who trusts you and believes in you and already knows you to help you with that, and then you're able to make them money.
Yeah.
Like, it's no better feeling. Like I am not ashamed or embarrassed to ask anyone to lend me money for a deal because I'm going to be making them 10%. Like they're not making 10% anywhere else. And so as much as they're doing me a favor, I'm doing them a favor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making them money. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to look at it. Because it is kind of scary to think about you're messing around with other people's money, but at the end of the day, they get something out of it. And so
and they get, I mean, when you consider their return anywhere else versus you giving them 10%, they're not just getting something, they're getting a lot. And depending on how much they're lending to you. And so I was telling Josh, I look at it as you're not doing me a favor, I'm doing you a favor. Right? Like your 401k, your Roth IRA, your money market account can't beat what I can get you.
That's true. I like that sales pitch.
Yes.
I do. I like it.
Just a perspective switch.
Yeah, very true. So you guys talked a little bit about like the details of how to break down those agreements.
I mean, it's a pretty simple agreement. I feel like that part's almost the easy part, but it's also like, I mean, what I was asking is like what are the tax implications of a private money lender? I think, I mean, we probably just need to talk to a CPA about that.
Right.
Figure out when you send them. I mean, but I like your non-salesy approach of like, hey, here's what I'm doing in real estate. Here's 2 ways to go about it.
Right.
I can help you with either way.
Yeah.
Might steal that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I'll send you my slide deck.
Okay.
And then it's if you use Canva at all online.
Dude, Canva it's the truth.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, my wife used to be a graphic designer for Papyrus and American Greetings. And she loves Canva. She's like all about it because it's so easy.
Yeah, like why would you use Photoshop anymore?
Right, exactly. And pay them. Like I think now they do a subscription fee. It's not even a one-time fee. Yeah, they're ridiculous. But I'll send you the link, and then you can make a copy of it and edit it for whatever you guys need. And yeah, it's super simple. It just shows a picture of my wife and I. It says our goals personally in real estate. It's a case study of our first rental. And then it just says at the end, here's 2 ways you can get involved, actively or passively. If you're going to get involved actively, I can help you and just answer questions. Or if you want to get involved passively because you don't have the time or you don't know enough about real estate, then you can lend me your money and I'll make you money. And that's how you can get involved. And so we don't pitch it as a private money presentation. We pitch it as like, hey, Facebook friends, if you've ever thought about getting involved in real estate, like I'm doing a Zoom call, I can show you how. And so it's more of an educational piece in that sense.
Yeah.
And then we just capitalize on the end.
No, I like it. That's like a timeshare approach.
Yeah, exactly. Except, yeah, it's true. That is very much so like it.
Wink.
Yeah.
There's no free dinner. You just get the free info.
It's never free. So yeah, I'll send that over to you, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if you guys have any other questions, you have my number. Shoot me a text, man. Let me know. But I'll send you that slide deck so you guys have something to look at and just a point of reference.
Yeah.
That'll work for me.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank
Of
we'll
course.
work out soon.
Yes. See you. Good meeting you, Hannah.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good day.
See you.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope you found value. If you did, of course, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help me. It'll help the YouTube algorithm. And I definitely want to reach out and network with more real estate investors. So if you're interested in coming on the show or shedding some light, definitely feel free to leave it in the comments below and we can connect. So I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.